Before I start, I want to make something clear. Metroid is my favorite gaming franchise, and Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 are my favorite gaming trilogy. I would love to be biased about Prime 4 and tell you that everything about it is perfect, but I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it as spoiler-free as I can, but the way the internet feels about spoilers, I'll just start by saying, if you like Metroid as a franchise, you will like this game. Sure, it has its flaws, but every game does. Stop listening to trolls on the internet and make your own opinion. However, if you are going to listen to somebody, are you going to listen to someone who's farming for clout on Twitter, or someone that has played this game for 40 hours in 12 days? Let's continue. I played Metroid Prime for a few reasons. The music, the architecture, the boss fights, and the scanning. All of those are in this game. As I booted it up, I was just hit with a heavy wave of nostalgia. The menu design and the title theme just introduced the vibe of the game really well. I did play this game on Switch 2 in quality mode, and I must say it is amazingly beautiful. Definitely the best looking game on Switch 2 so far, and I feel like it's going to stay that way at least for a couple years. Every area has a unique look and is really a buffet for the eyes. My favorite, I'd say, is probably the Ice Town, and then close second is Thunderdome. Let's just go ahead and get the companions out of the way. Are they terrible and game ruining? No. Are they constantly annoying and only get in the way? Yes. Probably my least favorite part of this game is the companion healthcare. During battles, they can die and it will make you game over. It is so stupid. I understand Retro Studios wanted them to feel integral, but they can do that without setting me back. And they are mostly likable. People just have this perception that whenever there's dialogue in a Metroid game, it automatically makes it bad. And yeah, the dialogue can be cringy at times, but it's not game ruining. And you can always just mute the dialogue, so there's that. But dialogue isn't even a new thing in the Prime series. Prime 3 could do some pretty heavy exposition dumps. It's just the frequency in this game is way too often. Why give me the option to call in for hints when the guy is gonna call me to give me hints every 2 minutes anyway? Sometimes the same hint twice in a row. Retro Studios make the hints optional, and this game bumps up a point in every reviewer's score. Easy. It does feel like for every plus this game has, there's a minus. One plus is I really love the world design and immersion. Music as always is top notch, just transports you right in. Scanning is here also. I love scanning things. I don't really like the change of how it shows what you've scanned though. It goes from green to clear. I prefer the method of Prime 2 and 3 where it goes from red to green. But scanning adds to the immersion by letting you explore what everything does and giving you clues and hints on what to do. It's a good contrast from the 2D Metroids where in that game if you're stuck you shoot everything, whereas in the Prime games you scan everything. The biggest problem I've seen that people have with the design philosophy of the game is that all of the areas feel like long corridors, but that's not the issue. Long corridors have always been a part of Prime games. Every one has them. The problem is it feels worse in this game because every area is only connected to the desert. Quick example, Prime 1, Chozo Ruins, you have multiple elevators that lead to the Talon overworld and one elevator that leads to the Magmore Caverns. Prime 4, you have to go through the desert to get from one area to the other. It feels more linear because you can't get to the end of the ice zone and immediately jump into the jungle area. You have to backtrack all the way through to get back to the desert to get to the jungle zone. Now I will say, they do a good job of changing up the area once you get to the bottom and have to go back. You unlock shortcuts, you open different paths. One of the areas turns the run back into the classic escape sequence, which is one of my favorite parts of the game. So no, the game is not just corridors. That's disingenuous to say. It's just different from the previous games in a way that highlights the narrow sections. The power-ups help the game feel really different too. The new powers are some of the best in the Prime series. They're fresh and interesting and bring a whole new wave of creativity. And everything is psychic now, which can really be summarized as just like a company rebranding just by changing their logo. The psychic stuff is cool. I like all the new specifically psychic powers, but rebranding all the old powers as psychic, it doesn't really change that much. Like a power bomb's a power bomb. Calling it psychic doesn't do anything for me. A couple standouts though. The grapple hook feels better than ever. I love using the grapple hook. And the morph ball really shines. I'm just gonna say one word. Tetherball. Is that one word? Speaking of traversal, let's talk about the bike. The bike is cool. The bike is underutilized. The problem with the bike is it feels like the entire game was conceptualized and then they decided to put the bike in at the end, so they had to just shoehorn it in. If you're going to make a bike in a video game, I want high-speed chases, I want crazy stunts, I want crazy power-ups. In this game, the bike starts with 2 power-ups, a boost and a frisbee. It does not get upgraded the entire time. Okay, it gets like half an upgrade, but it doesn't change how you use it at all. It's just the fact that you can't half pipe like a massive boost ball is just a crime. I wish I had more to say about it, but that's really it, because that's all there is to it. Very cool idea, very shallow execution. Can't wait to see Viola in Mario Kart though. Now the desert. Everybody's talking about the desert. Here's the hard truth. The desert is expansive. There isn't much to do. The enemy variety is abysmal. All you do is go from one end to the other collecting green crystals. But you want to know the worst part of all? I liked it. Let me explain. In the year of our Lord 2025, when this game came out, I did not stop for anything. The wife was pregnant with our first kid, then we had the first kid, then I have to raise that kid. I'm also running a business. On top of everything else that life throws at you, I needed a break. And while I do love the action sequences in this game, getting to hop on Viola and just glide across the sand, it gave me respite from all the chaos of the sectioned areas. But in a larger sense, it gave me a respite from my own life. But then my kid starts crying and I had to take a break. And the truth about the green crystals, they're not a deal breaker at all. You can get about 60% of what you need just from driving from area to area. You don't really even need to go out of the way. And if anybody tells you that it's a boring late game fetch quest meant to pad the runtime in the game, I mean, yeah, it is. But I mean, it'd be crazy if any other Metroid Prime games did that, right? Right? The combat in this game is a plus and a minus. Metroid has never really been a series about combat. It's always focused more on the world and the puzzles that you do. Most of the enemies are just crawling critters that will hurt you if they get in the way, but they're easily avoided or defeated. In this game, that's still mostly true, but the ones that do attack you, they're pretty one-dimensional. Maybe I'm romanticizing the older Prime games, but I feel like the variety in this one is substandard. For example, in Prime 1, I could probably name 10 enemies in one area, whereas in this game, I could probably name 10 enemies across the entire game, not including bosses, of course. So it just kind of makes all of the encounters feel the same. All of the weapon powers you get though, this is another thing I've seen people complain about. That's where the variety comes in. The weapons aren't meant to be more powerful than another. It's not like 2D Metroid where the beams stack on top of each other and just makes the damage more. You have to use Ice Beam on this, you have to shoot missiles here, you have to shoot that guy with a Fire Beam. That's always been the case in the Prime series at least. Except I guess of course for Prime 3, but even that one also had different beams you could use. And as you get to know the enemies, you figure out which weapon works best in which scenario. That of course all goes out the windows during the boss fights. During my 2 playthroughs, I really enjoyed the boss fights, but as I sit back and think on them, I'm having difficulty remembering how many fights required you to use different powers to defeat the bosses. I mean, Metroid bosses have always been shoot this specific spot until the boss dies, but they did make you work for it usually by using your arsenal to do different attacks. Regardless, I still enjoyed the boss fights. They aren't created equal, but they do still provide a challenge. Now, let's talk about the ending. The ending is crap. I know it sounds insane to say, considering how long this game was in development, but after you complete the final area, to get into the final area, it just feels like they ran out of time and had to throw something together. It builds up to you entering this final zone the entire game, and once you actually get in there, it's really underwhelming. In the final boss, it has the same issues as the other bosses, just multiplied to the next degree. In the previous Prime games, the final boss was where you used all of the power and knowledge you've accumulated to take them on in the final battle. But in this one, that doesn't happen. He's just a glorified bullet sponge that takes forever to defeat, especially in hard mode. Oh my lord, it takes forever. I mean, yeah, he has different moves you have to avoid, but there's really only like one move that requires one specific power-up to get around. It was just really disappointing for me, and then the ending was so bizarre. Not only does it go against the core of what Samus is known for and her beliefs, it goes against how she acted previously in this very game. It just made no sense to me. Very disappointing. Overall, I really liked the game. It has its downsides, sure, but it doesn't detract from the fun that I had. It is a beautiful and well-crafted world while having some interesting combat that can sometimes falter. Traversal is the best it's been in the Prime series, just brought down by an empty feeling hub world. During my time with the game, I came across a quote that comes from, believe it or not, one of your companions. The quote was, "Sometimes we must leave the things we know. If you hadn't chosen this path, where do you think you'd be?" And it made me think, do I want the Prime series to be the same thing as before with middling success or worse? Or do I want to see something new, whether it's good or not? Prime 1 is the peak. You just cannot beat that game no matter what you do. It transitioned the series into 3D so perfectly. You'd be a fool to try and recreate that. So why not try new things? Why not push the envelope and see what's possible? Maybe the envelope will even rip, for better or worse. So no, Prime 4 is not the best in the Prime series, but it's definitely better than 80% of games out there at least. My personal ranking would probably be 2, 4, 3, 1. You can tell me I'm wrong, but it's my opinion. You can tell me your opinion as well. I'd love to hear it. I'm excited to see what's next for the series. Hopefully, Retro will take the criticisms from this game and make the next one even better. Just please, Retro, do not take 18 years again, please. I give this game 1 Samus thumbs up and 82,000 green crystals, about how many you need to finish half the game. Thank you guys for watching and making it to the end. I'd love to hear your opinion on the game as well. Keep the discussion going, and let me know what your favorite game was that you played this year. See you next time. ILY, JLY.